And welcome back, it's SimCity time. You're in with Pink Dino. This is the third episode where we are aiming to create ourselves a Great Works. We haven't really decided what kind of Great Works we're going for at this time. Maybe go for an international airport, an arcology. There's also a huge solar array we can go for. We'll have a look at what's available, and at a later date decided for what arcology is going to be the best use of our time and efforts. We have a zone here with 16 cities available. We've had one section of this. We've built 4 cities already. This city here, we were trying to build ourselves $1 million within the first hour of play, and just slightly outside of that. So I reckon within about 10 minutes of play today, we should hopefully be sitting on $1 million. I've already worked out, as you can see from the name, this is going to be a resource area for ore. All we need to do is get ourselves about 30,000 people. We'll increase the taxes and get ourselves 1 million simoleons to play with. So this isn't the actual structure of the final city. We've pretty much laid this out as an exploit to get as many people in as possible. We're trying to get it as dense as possible here. The taxes, as we can see, very, very low. Going to get our bonds paid off as well, just to make things a bit easier. So the idea of this is just to get as many people in as possible, as quickly as possible. We've got all the infrastructure in place. The power station down here will need upgrading, so as soon as we've got enough money we're going to start doing that. We've got churches in play in the corner of the zone. These areas aren't going to be repopulated later, so it's safe to plot these. It's a very bad idea to destroy churches, as if you were religious and someone came over and demolished your church, I'm sure you wouldn't be too happy about that. And it's the same in Sims land. Very impressed. We've got ourselves our sewage and water treatment in play already. So only 10,000 people, but they have got a recyclable water supply here. The sewage treatment is dumping all the sewage into the lands. The water treatment has got a filtration unit built on the side, which will suck all that sewage up, and it sounds disgusting when you say it, but recycle it for people to drink. So looking at the zones, the wind is blowing from right to left here. So this is our industrial zone in the corner. It's a very small industrial zone. There's a little bit of demand for more industry, but as this is an exploit build, we're not going to worry about that at the moment. When we rezone, we'll make sure that this is all nicely balanced. We've got a commercial district in the middle, and a residential district after that. So you can see here it's already grown by 1,500 people almost in the few minutes we've been playing. We've got enough for our solar array now. Definitely going to need some more of these. I have researched in my other zone. I've built a university town which has researched the advanced solar power, but we won't be using that at the moment because I'm not sure whether this is going to be a solar powered city or not for the end game. We've got our high density roads in play. We've got a fully deployed hospital and fire station. We have our police station, which is slap bang in the middle of a commercial zone. We've also got a school and a bus station, which is making sure that everyone's being ferried around the city nicely. So yeah, it's looking good. We're just need these guys to get a little bit more dense. So we'll check our land value and our happiness. Everyone's happy. A couple of people on the side that aren't. They're worried about their freight shipments. So we really need this population to increase. We do have some parks laid. Might get a couple more in once we've got the money in place. Let's go for some formal parks. to really try and get this density up, get these buildings up into the sky. The outskirts are really suffering as well. This really is the trick of building skyscrapers, is to plop your parks. Have to increase the taxes just a little bit to take the dent of those parks. It's our largest expense at the moment, £6.5 grand going on parks every hour. All we're trying to do is get some density. You can see how it's worked almost instantaneously. As soon as you plop something and you get this growth happening, you know you're doing something right. So just increasing our taxes a little bit, just to stay in the green. Seem somehow to be losing population, which isn't good. There's some complaints about garbage as well. It's probably because he's only got one dump and we don't have an incinerator. So we're just going to take a bond out to sort that out. Plop down a couple of incinerators. And we'll give him a little bit more space. Crazy intersection. What's going on here, guys? Wish we could build roundabouts. Maybe later. So we really need this to be growing. We seem to be losing population, which isn't good. Everyone's happy. I think it's just a waiting game here, waiting for these guys to upgrade. Everyone's pretty much educated, everyone's pretty much happy. Don't seem to be any big problems, so I don't see really why there's a hesitancy to expand. Asking for more buses so we can provide that for them. Was really expecting a little bit more growth from them, to be honest. They're all nice and happy, there's no fires, hardly any crime. The intersections here are becoming a bit of a nightmare. So it might be the travel that's causing them some problems. It's beginning to grow in density, but we don't seem to be getting the population in. And they seem to be moaning about the schools. So that's something we will definitely sort out for them. So we'll take out one more bond. So these bonds aren't really an issue because the taxes are so low. At any point we can raise the taxes. Yeah, that's the problem. The schools haven't been taking in enough students, and that's why people are unhappy, and that's why we're not getting any density. But at least they got a flag. So that should do it. That should make them all happy. Screaming now about a worker shortage. So what we'll do is we'll de-zone one of these commercial zones. Rezone that as residential. Hopefully that will get some growth. So with SimCity, the way that it reacts really does tell you a thing or two about some of the issues. You just have to go hunting for them, find out exactly what it is that these people are unhappy about, why they're not reacting the way you want them to. So one thing I will do is I'm going to plot my mayor's house. This top corner is free, just to get some more happiness out there. It's beginning to grow now, that's good. Just going to keep ourselves in the green, raising the taxes a little. Make sure we've got our school buses in a couple of new areas that we zoned last time. It's obviously their biggest concern at the moment, so we're trying to address that concern. And we're almost back to where we were 10 minutes ago. So we've caught that emergency. And now the boom begins. So as I say, just waiting for 30,000. As soon as we've got 30,000 in here, we can ramp the taxes up, get ourselves $1 million. We've already decided that the specialisation for this city is going to be on ore. Determining that by having a quick look at the ore map. So there's a little bit of coal in the middle here, but the ore is very plentiful. So the way we're going to play this is we're going to have a main road which cuts straight through the middle of the city. That road will be completely devoid of any buildings apart from anything to do with the supply chain. So we'll have Have our trade depots on there, and all of the major roads leading to a commercial or the industrial area will either come around the outside or come off tiny little roads at the north and south of our main. The trick in this is to make sure your supply chain is working, and the way you do that is to make sure there's no other traffic unless it's to do with your industry. Here we go. So we're getting some nice decent skyscrapers. So I've created 5 other cities using this model at this time. Each one's had its own individual problems as we try this build. One of the cities, I unfortunately demolished the minor sewage treatment works before the major sewage treatment works were populated, and that caused an enormous backlash, which I'm still feeling looking at that city today, even though it's months after the events happened and everyone's seems perfectly happy, but they're still reminding me about the sewage problems from yesteryear. They're probably writing books about it. In another city I had too little density and managed to get 30,000 people in there, but the buildings weren't dense enough to support the taxation, and then a subsequent unemployment crash after that was interesting. So this one here, it's been about education. So each city is a new adventure and new problems to solve. Need to make sure there's enough power here. A couple more of those modules will definitely take us up to 30,000. This main intersection is causing us some problems. We can see there's a big tailback, so we have to sort that out. Get that done as soon as I've done the power. We'll have one more of those, and then that should be perfect. Do love the look of this game. It's very, very, very pretty. When I first had it, I was on a slightly weaker graphics card and had to have the settings on a very minimal setting, so it was very blocky, very jerky. I got myself a nice new graphics card for Christmas, and that has really re-infused me for the game. It just really does look spectacular. So we're halfway there, 14,000. Just need a little bit more expansion, which is happening. We've caught the education drop, which seems to be the biggest bugbear about people expanding. There's definitely enough parks there. Seem to have been complaining about water as well. So one more power cell, this should do it. Still a bit of a deficit. So water might have been a problem with the power. Right, let's sort this main road out. Oh, that's a tragedy. There we go. People using the road on the outside the way I want them to. Should connect this one up as well. It's a secret of getting traffic moving around your city. Still lots of complaints about buses. So we'll get that sorted as a priority. So buses are a problem, so it's either something to do with the travel system. I have made sure that the bus stops have been placed well. So I'm guessing it's just the frequency. It's closed and it needs power, that'll be why then. So all these little problems that you just need to keep on top of. We're beginning to get the density now. Strange to think that this entire area is going to get demolished and be turned into a mine. Right, stick our Nissan Leaf garage back on, because I do like those. Every little helps. So we'll get our million simoleons here, then we'll completely restructure, get all the mines in play. Start building some microchips. We'll have a look at the other areas directly surrounding this city and see the best way to use those. Problems with sewage now, it's 40 grand for the next module. So all these little niggles have stopped us growing as quickly as we could if it was all running smoothly. Plenty of happiness though, so that's good. Well, if you're also happy, it's time to go up in the world. Cool little bridge. Inadvertent, but pretty cool. Gonna need to get this sewage treatment in quick, otherwise that's going to cause another backlash, which is going to halt our growth. Growing at a fairly decent speed. Want to make sure that continues. Factory's bringing the land value down around the sims on the left hand side of the screen. Not a lot we can do about that. Really need to get this sewage plant in. Again, we're not raising the taxes because we want to increase growth. It's a fine balancing act between the two. And we drop down our population again. So there we go. So this is a big problem. We're having a sewage problem because the sewage treatment, for some reason, went on strike. So that explains why the growth's been halted. That's really bad. Going to get some backlash from that. But this is SimCity, this is what it's all about. It's all about rolling with the punches. It's about acting and reacting. So all of these little problems, if we would have caught them earlier, it would have been a lot smoother, a lot quicker. But what can you do, eh? We try our best. So that's going to just about do it for this episode. We'll definitely have enough population here to get ourselves 1 million next episode. Always the way. As soon as you're going to start recording something, it never works as planned. But I'm happy with the growth, happy with the look of it. So give us a like, give us some comments, and I'll catch you next time.